beautiful friends, and welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. I'm excited to spend the day in the kitchen today. I'm going to be cooking up a little bit of a storm because today and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you 7 delicious vegan breakfast ideas. So if you do want to try a different vegan breakfast idea for every day of the week this week, you can. A big thank you to my friends at Cosmic Cookware for sponsoring today's video. You'll probably see throughout this video that I use Cosmic Cookware in almost every recipe, and that's because I genuinely use this nearly every single day in my personal life and when I'm cooking recipes. It is seriously the most amazing non-stick cookware, and it is so ridiculously easy to clean. As well as that, it's great for stewing, braising, boiling and baking. I use it on my electric cooktop and it works really well, but it can be used on all cooktops. Cosmic Cookware's entire range is toxic free and chemical free, and as well as that, they have so many sets and bundles that you can purchase in depending on what type of cook you are or what type of needs you have from your cookware. I also have a discount code which I'll leave on the screen, and you can use that discount code on top of the already reduced cost of the bundles to get it for an even lower price. I will leave a link down in the description box as well as that discount code if you would like to check it out. Okay, it is time to get into the breakfast. I am so excited to share these recipes with you. I hope that you will love them as much as I do. This frozen yogurt slice is something I've been recently making and really enjoying because it is so great as a snack as well as a breakfast on the go and super delicious. To make it, I start by putting some blueberries over the heat with a little bit of maple syrup and some water to water it down. And whilst that continues cooking away, into a bowl I put some almond meal as well as some flax meal. Then I also add in some maple syrup as well as some cashew butter and a little pinch of salt, and I mix this all together, which is going to make like a biscuit base for these frozen yogurt bars or squares or whatever you would like to call them. And so that's what I start by doing. Then into a separate bowl I put some plant-based yogurt as well as the zest of a lemon and the juice of a lemon to make this really delicious lemon yogurt, which I love lemon and blueberry together. It's always been a flavor I love, but I've been really enjoying it so much more recently. Then into a slice tin that I had lined, I pressed in the biscuit base, and then I poured over that lemon yogurt mixture before topping it with those blueberries that had reduced and softened and just were looking and smelling absolutely delicious. I swirled this all together to make it nice and beautiful and even, and then put it in the freezer for about 4 to 5 hours. You really want to make sure it sets well so that then when you remove it, it's not getting like super soft super quickly, and you can cut it into squares, which I then put these back in the freezer in a container so that I can just pull one out when I'm ready to go and enjoy it on the go for breakfast or for a snack, and it is just absolutely divine. I really hope you love these if you try these because they are really delish and super easy. I feel like I will never get sick of a toasty, and this recent toasty I've been loving, which is like a caramelized onion and chickpea smash toasty, has just been divine. I start by cutting up some onions and frying them in some oil, and whilst they're frying away, into a bowl I put some chickpeas which I smashed with a fork, and then I also added in some vegan cashew cream cheese as well as some smoked paprika, some cumin, some salt and some pepper, and I continued mashing this all together. You can also get pretty creative with this chickpea smash and definitely add in different flavors as you would like to. I'm moving back to the onions now and adding in some salt and some coconut sugar to really caramelize these onions. I love caramelized onions so much. I can't believe I spent so many years of my life not eating them because they are just divine. And whilst those were frying up, I cut 2 thick pieces of sourdough and buttered both pieces on both sides so that it's going to get really nice and crispy and golden. Then onto this bread, I piled on those caramelized onions, piled on that chickpea smash, and I also chose to add some vegan cheese because I'm a vegan cheese girly. It goes so well on a toasty. I feel like I can't have a toasty without it. And then I put that bit of bread on top and started frying this up. You can fry this in a frying pan, or you can cook it in a sandwich press if you would like to. My flipping skills, they're just not fully there yet, you know. I'm doing my best, it's an art that I'm working on, but I get it to be nice and golden on both sides and then cut it in half. And I really like serving my toasties with a little sprinkle of salt and chili and chives. It makes me feel like I'm eating at a cafe rather than in my home. Just gives it that extra bit of love. And yeah, I love this toastie so much. I hope you love it as much as I do. A fun fact for you is that when I used to work in hospitality and I worked really early mornings, I used to have chocolate hazelnut soaked oats for breakfast most mornings, and they gave me so much energy and got me through some really busy days. And I decided to recreate them today, but with a warm bowl of chocolate hazelnut oats. So I start by putting some oats, hazelnut meal, maple syrup, plant-based milk and cocoa powder into a pot over the stove, and I mix this together, heating it and allowing it to thicken over time for like 10 to 15 minutes. You really want to allow it to slowly cook, which I think really allows it to just like soak up so much flavor and get so honestly decadent and beautiful. I serve this in a bowl with some plant-based yogurt on top, as well as some fresh fruit. I usually love having berries, and I also drizzled with a chocolate sauce, which was absolutely divine. The chocolate sauce is just maple syrup and cacao powder and some water, and it really adds a nice little extra bit of chocolatey deliciousness. So of course I absolutely love it. Tofu cream cheese is honestly incredible because it tastes so good to me, and as well as that, it's such a good easy high protein breakfast that you can spread on toast. I put some tofu as well as apple cider vinegar, coconut oil, veggie stock powder and nutritional yeast, as well as some lemon, which I didn't add here, but I will eventually add because this isn't going to blend together in the way that I would love it to. But essentially I just add these into my little mini food processor and blend it all together so it gets really nice and smooth. I also cut up some dill and some chives because I think they go perfectly in a cream cheese, and this is when I also added in that lemon as well to give it that little bit of extra flavor, but also to thin it out a little bit and make it more spreadable. This is also something that you can add salt and pepper to taste, and you can mix up the flavors that you would like for it as well. I store it in an airtight container in the fridge for about up to 5 days, and when I like to serve it, I like to serve it on some toasted sourdough, of course. As you can see, this cream cheese is super creamy. I spread it all over the toast, and I also really love topping this with some tomato. I just feel like cream cheese and tomato are the perfect combo with some cracked salt and cracked pepper over the top. It is absolutely divine, and like I said, this is a really great high protein breakfast that is super easy to make and to enjoy throughout the week. Whenever I eat Nourish bowls like this, I just feel like the best version of myself because it's such a great combo of so many things, and also just makes me feel like I'm pouring love into myself. I started by cooking some turmeric quinoa, which was absolutely lovely. I'm loving quinoa so much lately. And then I also prepped some kale. I'm definitely a kale girly, and I do feel like I'm very good at making really delicious kale, and I have been tending to make it the same way for a long time. I wash all this kale, put it into a bowl, and then add in some olive oil as well as some salt, some pepper and some nutritional yeast, and I really get in there and massage the kale so that it's got oil coating it and got the flavors coating it as well. I moved my quinoa to continue cooking and then put a large frying pan over the heat, adding in all of that kale and really starting to fry all of that up. As you can see, it's going to reduce a lot as greens tend to do, but it is absolutely delicious. I also had some frozen edamame, which I defrosted because I really enjoy this as a simple and easy protein source when I am making Nourish bowls like this. And I also prepped some avocado as well as some fresh lemon to have in this bowl as well. When it comes to serving, I had the turmeric quinoa as the base. I then added in the crispy kale and then followed that with the edamame, of course, as well as the sliced avocado. I drizzled with a creamy vegan dressing that I had on hand. I think tahini would go really well with this as well, and I had some lemon, chili flakes and sesame seeds with it too. Such a divine, delicious, nourishing way to start the day. It's no secret, I love my beans, and I especially love beans for breakfast. These smoky barbecue baked beans are so delicious, and to make them I start by cutting up an onion and I put this into a little pot with some oil and start frying it up. I also added in some garlic powder, smoked paprika, as well as some tomato paste, and continued frying this all together. Then I added in some soy sauce as well as barbecue sauce and some liquid smoke, which adds a lot of extra flavor but isn't 100% necessary for the recipe. I also added in a little bit of coconut sugar as well as the butter beans and continued mixing this all together, adding water if I needed to thin it out at all, and making this a delicious batch of barbecue baked beans. I love serving this on some toasted sourdough with some vegan cashew cream and some chives. It's such a hearty and delicious breakfast. I just genuinely feel like I could eat this every day at the moment. It is so good. I'm not gonna lie to you, I filmed myself making this entire pancake batter and then completely lost all of the footage. So I did make these delicious pancakes this day, which I loved so very much, and I'll have the details down in the description box, but they were so good, and they're such an easy vegan pancake to make as well, which I really enjoy. It just keeps it nice and simple. So I fried all these up with a little bit of vegan butter to grease the pan, and then whilst they were cooking, I also decided to make myself a little blackberry compote kind of thing, which I really enjoy. So into a little saucepan I put some blackberries as well as coconut sugar and a little bit of water, and I just cooked this down, sort of reduced it, and then it was going to go perfectly on top of these fluffy delicious pancakes. I put this on top and it drizzled down. It also goes really well with some plant-based yogurt if you have any on hand, and you know, pancakes are just one of those things that whenever I make them I never regret it, because it's just pouring love into myself, if you believe in that kind of thing. And that, my beautiful friends, brings us to the end of a week of vegan breakfasts. I hope you enjoyed this video and got at least one new breakfast idea to try out at home. If you have any vegan breakfasts you think that I've been missing out on that I need to try, make sure to let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks so much for being here, for supporting me and my channel. I appreciate it and you so very much. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye!